just shy of 2,100 pounds. This is a one-owner, locally purchased and traded right here from Haylet Auto and RV Rockwood A122S Hardside A-frame pop-up. And it is in pretty darn good condition. The folks were really happy with it, and they got a newer vehicle and something they could, you know, get a little more trailer behind. And they actually were so happy with the Rockwood, they stayed within the Rockwood family, moved up to a Rockwood Mini Lite with a Murphy bed, and off they go today. Now at the time of this filming anyway, it's spring, and chances are this is not going to last long. When we get these in the pre-owned market, it tends to be days and maybe weeks before they leave. So other than just a little bit of storage dust that needs knocked down, there is nothing here that gets my blood pressure worked up whatsoever. I mean, really just needs a quick, like I said, very basic surface bath, like Windex and a garden hose, and you're going to be good to go. So you've got this front dinette here, which this can fold down into a bed that an additional adult could sleep on. So these are pretty good for buddy camping. Now we do have storage below that dinette bench right there, and if I move around, you can see that this table right here is free floating. One of the cool things about that is this can very easily fold down into a little bonus sleeper, like I mentioned previously. But, you know, there's really nothing to it. And with the legs being, I like these folding style legs here. I call them like ironing board legs. It's not exactly what they are, but it's sort of what it reminds me of. I like them because I've got long legs, and they're very unobtrusive, and I can sit at this dinette. 4 people can sit at this dinette comfortably, which is another neat thing. And you might look at it and say, I don't know, what about the tilt of those walls right there? Well, that's kind of one of the things I like about these skylights right here. They are deceptively deep. So if I sit down, spin the camera around, you see that it's actually a lot deeper than you realize. And even a big full-grown guy like me can sit in here, and I am sitting, you know, right up next to the wall, not a problem. And there is plenty of room beside me for another person. You could easily have 4 people here enjoying a meal, playing some card games, whatever. And then you've got kind of a lookout through now. Again, right now, this needs cleaned, but you've got a nice lookout at your campsites and whatnot. Now these skylights here, they're actually very heavily UV tinted. If you remember the quick little exterior footage that we saw, and you'll see some more of it in just a moment, you can't really see in them from outside. You can't really see any of the windows from outside. It's sort of like that tree in my neighbor's yard. I can see her in my tree, but she can't see me in that tree through her window. Never mind. Moving on. This has 2 different ways of heating and 2 different ways of cooling. So you've got a propane powered furnace down here if you're boondocking. We also have a 12-volt powered max air vent fan up here, just like the Rockwood 5th wheels, to give you that really nice airflow and pulling in lots of fresh air through these side windows. Now if you do have 110 shore power or a generator, this is going to be your best friend right here. This is a bi-directional heat pump. So this is either an electric air conditioner or an electric heater. It can do either job very well. And it works like, oh wow, it's been a long time now that I realized since I actually looked at the hard specs, but it works roughly anywhere from like 36 degrees up to like 104 or something like that. So, you know, there has to be just enough cool and just enough warm in the air for it to split the air molecule basically and do its job. A couple different brands have built A-frames like this, and Rockwood continues to just dominate the market in hardside folding camper, well, all pop-ups really, hardside or tent campers. And I think it's little detail stuff like this, like they're including a sink cover, and they recess the stovetop with that tempered glass cover to actually give you a decent amount of prep space per capita in this little camper. This is a 3-way fridge, meaning propane, 110 or 12 volt, and that means coldest, colder, or cold, as it were. And I noticed down here that even all the original owner's manuals and everything that the folks had when they first took this home, all present and accounted for. That being said, I'm not the least bit worried about the care and maintenance of this thing, considering the previous owner is an aircraft mechanic. I'm pretty sure that maintaining a little pop-up camper is well within his capacity, not a concern that I have. This bed right here, this is heated. You can see the little heater control for it right over here. It is also easy lift. If you want to lift that bed right up, you can access a storage pocket that's below it on the other side. Now over here, we've got some very travel trailer features in a fold-down camper. And that's why I kind of call these A-frames a mutant, because they sort of have weird mutant in-between things. Normal pop-up campers don't usually have a microwave. They don't usually have TV hookups. I also like the power outlets right next to this stand for folks who need to use CPAP machines. That's another handy benefit of these things. And a little inside-outside stereo just kind of rounds out the package. The story outside is basically the same. Other than just needing a quick surface bath, she is good to go. You're going to find all the original stuff that came with this, including some accessories that we set these folks up with, included with this camper, because every time someone buys a new RV at Haylitz, we get them a whole new set of basic accessories so that they don't have to, you know, recycle stuff. So the original grill is here. You can see a little portable side stand table. Now, if you don't want to have the grill right next to the camper, which, by the way, they don't put off enough heat to damage anything, but if you just don't want to do that, you can actually flip this mount and set the grill on the ground and still use the quick connect that is actually protected within the camper's walls instead of below. You see the aluminum wheels right there, just a nice little upgrade feature you'll find on the Rockwoods, kind of like the bigger entry handle you have there for just easy coming and going. Now, this is a look at the storage below the dinette bench on the inside that we talked about. Now, the dinette bench on the other side of the camper, there is no storage below that because there's like a furnace and water heater and stuff. The A122S, S stands for storage, and it's what gives you this big storage trunk right here. You can see the like original water hose and some widgets and cables and connectors in that handy little starter pack bucket that we set people up with when they buy a camper here at Haylitz. You're also probably noticing this funny little rack on the front. Folks enjoyed taking a little bike ride every now and then. Not something they necessarily needed with their new camper, apparently. Dual propane tanks with an auto changeover regulator is another travel trailer feature here on a folding camper. So if, let's say, you're feeding from the left tank and it goes dry, it will automatically pull from the right tank, and then you can just swap them out whenever you're ready with no break in service and no air in your lines. Power tongue jack, doing a great job. I actually helped the folks get unhitched this morning. Everything works like a charm. I set this all up myself. It is exactly like I remember when it was here the first time at Haylitz RV. Another little nice detail point. And when you're in small campers, pop-up campers like this, you will often not find front stabilizer jacks. And if you do, they're sometimes single leg jacks, and this has 4-corner scissor jacks like a big Rockwood travel trailer to make this thing very sturdy, very stable, very good for people who are motion or seasick easily, you know, because it will keep itself from wiggling around, basically. Water heater is gas only, but it is auto ignition. That will get just shy, I think, of about 11 gallons per hour of hot water recharge from a 6-gallon vessel. Outside utility shower, so that you can just kind of, I don't know, maybe you feel like putting on a show for the neighbors, doing a little burlesque routine, perhaps, getting all lathered up and watching all the people close the shades on their camper. That might be a fun afternoon. I don't know. This little thing right here, this is actually a straight pipe out from the sink. It has a freshwater tank. It does not have a gray or a black tank because there's no toilet. And other than the sink, there's nothing else in here that actually uses water inside the camper. So what you do need to do, if you do plan on using the sink, you need to kind of get one of those little exterior tote things right there, or like a bucket or something to let the water run into. Part cable hookups. This is the back of that electric heater or air conditioner. By the way, guys, on the back of a vent, if you see a little hose sticking out, don't shove it into the camper. That is a condensation drip line. If you shove it in there, all you're doing is like basically creating your own leak that wasn't there, and obviously that's not something we want to do. I like that little storage trunk that pops out from the underside of the master bed right here. They didn't want to waste any space on this. They utilized every inch they could. Spare tires never seen the light of day. But, you know, I should have talked about this sooner. Towing. These things tow like a dream because they ride lower than your vehicle. They're not wider than your vehicle. You can usually still even use your rear view mirror with them. It's only a 7-wide camper. I still always recommend you get towing mirrors though. And another nice thing for towing, this weighs 2,100 pounds. Federal requirement says that any trailer whose dry weight is 2,500 pounds has to have electric trailer brakes. But this still has electric trailer brakes because a lot of people towing these things are using reduced capacity vehicles, and Rockwood's very safety conscious. That's one of the things I love about them. They're not just a high class manufacturer, they're just a classy manufacturer. And so this is all set. Like if you've got a 3,000 pound rated minivan or something and you want to make sure that you can tow this and not get pushed through a stop sign, it has electric brakes. Understand though, because this trailer has electric brakes, even though it's not federally required, you are federally required to have a brake controller in your vehicle because it does have trailer brakes. That is how that works there, ladies and gentlemen. And another quick look at just the tint on the windows. I do love, by the way, that they have the vent in the door right here. This was one of the first years they started doing that. It's a nice little feature they put on these. This is an open and shut case, guys, and what's cool, it's late model enough you can still get same as new RV financing on it, pending approval, obviously, because I can't speak for a banker that doesn't work under my payroll. If they did, this would be a lot easier. So, with that, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.